Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's Up With That, the show that brings you interesting people, places, cultures, and subcultures here in the South Bay, the San Francisco Bay Area, the state of California, and beyond. And tonight, what's up with Master Moms? Who are Master Moms? And what can we learn from the Master Moms ministry? Well, let me tell you something. One thing my mother taught me is never mess with mom. And she was right. With all the kids she had, she's still right, okay? Tonight we're joined with a unique ministry from Victory Outreach, a group of moms who help moms get through the difficult stages of raising children. And there are so many issues with raising children today, including drugs and alcohol and gangs. And through the grace of God and the power of motherhood, they pull it off. Please welcome tonight three very brave and powerful, empowering women. I'd like to welcome Raquel Ordonez.
Thank you.
She is the director of Master Moms.
Yes, I am.
Welcome. What's up?
Thank you. Thank you.
We have Lisa Cuevas. She is the co-director. Thanks for coming on. What's up?
You're welcome.
And Olga Preciado,
Yes.
she is the outreach coordinator for Master Moms.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's start from the beginning. How did Master Moms get started?
Master Mom was birthed out of C.S.F.I.R ministry, and C.S.F.I.R is a ministry that goes after gang members to bring them to Christ. And Master Mom was birthed because we seen a need for mothers, mothers of these gang members, mothers of these drug addicts. And Master Mom was birthed out of the ministry because we need to show mother the empowerment that they really possess.
Right.
So it was birthed, and we came with the name of Mothers Annointed Spiritually, together encouraging redemption.
Oh,
so that's what Master comes. And that's how the ministry was birthed. And because we want to not only target the children, but we need to target the mother. Because the mom is usually always on top. The mom is the closest person to the child. So that's where the ministry was birthed out of.
Yeah, and it just makes sense because the mother really, in so many situations, particularly today, the way society has become, is the head of the household and usually is bearing a huge burden and needs help.
Yes, yes.
So when you go out, and approach, let's go through the process. Somebody comes to you or you come to somebody, what do you say? What do you say to somebody who's really downtrodden and you know, really having a hard time?
Yeah, well, a lot of times women will, somebody that knows about Master Moms will call one of us and say, hey, you know, this lady needs help. She's got a kid in jail. She's got a kid on drugs. And a lot of times we get a lot of calls for prayer because there's a lot of women that we encourage that, and these are women that don't even go to church with us, but they need a support group. They say, you know, I need something and I need to go somewhere where I'm going to be heard and not judged.
Exactly.
And
see, that's big. That's
because some people just want to be heard. They don't they don't want you to place any judgment on them. They just need somebody to listen. So that's where we come in, is that we want to show women how to be empowered and not to be afraid to speak out. So that
gives me tingles. That's so great.
So we go out there.
Like, that's great.
Yeah,
you know?
We go out there, we talk to women, and we encourage women.
That's right.
One thing that is very, very clear with this ministry is we will not allow a woman to remain in her pity party.
That's right.
That's one thing that came directly from God, and he says, Raquel, he says, I'm a survivor of incest, of rape, of kidnap, and domestic violence.
Wow.
And he says, you know what? You know how to stand. Teach these women how to stand, how to stand their ground. Teach them how to be encouraged. Don't allow them to remain in that pity party. Teach them how to pull out and to stay out. So when a woman comes to us and she's crying and she's hurting, we're not, oh, it's okay, baby, you know, no. We're all, come on, girl, get on your feet, dust
Stand
yourself
up.
up, get on your knees, pray for your kids, take them back, take them back. Whatever the enemy has snatched, which is the devil, take it back from him, because you have the right.
That's right.
God gives you the crown. God gives you the victory. Realize the victory that you have and possess it. And take back your child.
Wow. So what is a typical I know there can't be a typical, but what would be a profile of the type of woman that you see? I mean, what are the things that they're experiencing that you...
A lot of things that we address as mothers that we see that is coming through a lot is the gangs. We see a lot of kids that are on gangs, and these moms don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing right now. And what we're trying to get is to the women is, you know what, hit your knees, pray for your child, you know, get in their face and be strong. Don't be that, you know, oh, you know, you gotta be strong, you know. And that's what a lot of mothers are facing today. A lot of mothers. And then, of course, you have the drug issue and other things like that.
Well, a lot of parents are scared of their kids. A lot of mothers.
Now I would think that because of the gangs, they're don't really know what to do.
And the drug issue, because these kids, they're not in their right state of mind. They're in a drug-possessed mind. And so these women are afraid. So a big caption of Master Moms is to teach the woman how to build up. That way she can face these things.
So you actually have to really basically almost reform a person. You have to start from ground zero.
And we've touched on bases of forgiveness, of past hurts that we as women have. Because one thing that I have learned is, like I tell women, I tell my friends, is like, you can never love somebody else completely until you love yourself completely. So we need to start here. If we're going to be strong for our children, then we need to be strong first for ourselves.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's... Mothers are mothers, you know. Children, no matter what, whether they're in gangs or in drugs, whatever, they have a bond with their mother that cannot ever
be
go
broken.
away. No. I mean, they look, you know, mom's always there. It's the truth. When you get in trouble, whatever, mom's there. Mom's not going anywhere. You know, so the idea of empowering the mother, and you know, I've seen mothers that are just beaten down. I mean, beaten down to the point where they're lost.
And those are the kind of mothers that we target. Those are the kind of mothers that we want to help, because we haven't seen an organization, not even a county organization, a community organization that says, hey, Mom, you need help? Come on.
That's
Just come and have some support.
That would mean work.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
think
like,
about it. The bureaucracies don't want to have to spend time on that.
Because there's money for graffiti. There's money, you know, for gang intervention, drug intervention. But where are you building that pillar? You need to start with the mother.
That's right.
Build a pillar with her. Let her be the pillar of her family, of her child.
Right.
You know, so that's what, you know, that's what Master Moms is about.
So tell me, how did you get involved in Master Moms, and what's it done for you?
Well, because of my situation with my sons. I have sons that are out there lost behind drugs and gangs, and I felt the devil dealing with it and just grabbing hold of my children, and I was like, okay, what am I to do here? I was stuck. But then I see my son went to jail, and he had a lot of charges on him, and I'm saying, Lord, I go, if he goes to prison, I'm going to lose him. I'm going to lose him to the gang life. I go, I really need you to intercede here and take control of the situation. Have mercy on him. I know you say if one in the household is saved, they will all come. They will all be saved. I go, and your word never comes back void. I go, so you need to intervene here with my son. So when my son went to court and they read off all his charges, he got a year county.
That's
right. A year county. And a lot of people couldn't believe that. And that's when I kept, and God said, saying, you need to open this ministry. And that's what we used to talk about until it finally burst out.
Yeah, there was something helping you.
Yeah.
A force.
And that's why I know that Master Moms is going to explode because of the hurt with mothers. Because when I was doing a school program, in 95, mothers used to ask me, well, how do you know if your kid's in gangs? I go, well, don't you check their room or their backpacks? No, that we're invading their privacy. These are teenagers. No, they're living in your home.
Right.
You have every right to go in their home, into their backpacks and into their closets and seeing what color are they mostly having in there? What are they writing in their books? I do that all the time. Even my son's 31, I still do that to him.
And it's so ironic, though, because in the schools they teach a whole different philosophy. It's this philosophy about, you know, you need to give them space, and you need to allow them to be at themselves. And at what point do you give up your rights as a mother? I mean, you are in charge of these kids. Ultimately, if something happens, who are they going to point their finger at? That's the bad part of society. No, not the parents, the mother.
The mother.
They go after the mother first.
That's right.
Think about it. Oh, She was a terrible mother, and that's why that kid's so messed up, right?
It's
Well, see, I
true.
came from that
It's true.
background. I came from the drug life, the alcohol life, the gang life. I brought that into my household, and because of my kids growing up with that in my house with during raids and stuff, you know, so my kids start saying, "Hey, well, I see what's going on here. I could do this." And then when I tell my son, "Hey, what are you doing?" He says, "Well, I thought it was okay because you did it." And that's when I realized, you know what? I need to need to show them some positive,
Right.
not all the negative.
Exactly. Yeah, and see, that's when it's time for a
And
change.
I was a mother raising 4 kids on my own, so it was hard. It was hard. I had to be a mother and a father. And like a lot of people say that, you know, like I tell them, well, being gang related, it's a generational curse. Everybody goes, no, it's not. I says, you know what? My ex-husband was, my son is, and my grandson, who's 12 years old, just started his own gang. So how can you tell
Wow.
me it's not a curse that the enemy's coming against us with?
Yeah. And how about you? How did you get involved in?
Well, I
This
got involved
ministry.
because I'm an ex-gang member. I used to use drugs. I led a lifestyle that was just unreal. I was out there, way out there, doing things that I wasn't, all negative. The thing is, I have a daughter also, but she's young. She's only 9. So I just pray to God that she doesn't have to, you know, grow up in that atmosphere and stuff like that. But what gives me, what humbles my heart with Master Moms is because I know what it is to be in a gang. I know what I did when I was in it, people that I hurt my mother. It was horrible, you know, and God just intervened in my life and told me, you know what, everything you've done for the devil, you need to turn it around and do work for me now.
So why do you think that children, from a mother's perspective, because a mother knows kids, why do you think so many kids are turning to gangs and turning to drugs as a way of life? I mean, what's going on there? What do you?
I think it's because of the acceptance and the way society has been with our children now. There's a lot of freedom involved, a lot of freedom. I mean, even like as concerns as going into the backpacks, you know, I mean, they all know I have my right to freedom and, you know, invasion of privacy. I mean, kids are using those terms and they're like in 6th grade now.
I'm telling you.
You know, invading my privacy and all this and that.
I would, you know, I'm a school teacher. I have the right actually to go in their backpack.
That's right.
And they
Yeah.
go ballistic.
Yeah, I mean,
you put that down.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
you don't talk to
even
me
like
that, you know?
for I really believe that it's a form of acceptance, because I don't accept, you know, I've raised 9 kids. I've raised 9 kids, and out of my 9, 2 of them got into drugs and gangs, and it was, they were very both pretty quiet kids, and then they at school they started, you know, hanging around with tougher people, and they kind of were sensationalized by it, you know, and then we have movies that came out, you know, like Scarface, and that just really blew up the scene, you know. And so these kids are like, hey, you know, they see an easier way, an easier way of getting money, an easier way of getting drugs, an easier way, and they're drawn to it. So when the parents, like, we're nudging against our kids, and then they go to this group of gangs, and the gangs are, oh, this is okay, but this is okay. So then they start pulling away from their families.
Right.
And then you have the mothers that are like, oh, it's just a color, it's just a t-shirt, oh, it's just a phase. No, it's not. It's reality. Your kid's gonna die.
That's right.
Or gonna kill somebody. So what it is that these kids are they're almost getting desensitized as to the deepness that they can actually end up in.
Yeah.
And they think it's hip and it's everywhere.
I think they don't understand the
They don't
consequences.
understand the consequence. They don't understand what it's going to do to their future, to their
Right.
life. And a lot of kids, if you talk to them now, they don't even see their life beyond 25 years old.
No, they don't.
It's like, oh no, I'm never going to be 30. I'm
Right.
not going to get that old.
Right.
I mean, you see them idolize people like Tupac. And,
Yes.
You know, he died 25.
Yes, and he was from a saved mother. His mother was a saved woman, and it's women like that need to know, you know what, there's still hope, you know. I mean, for years I was on my knees crying and weeping with the mourning spirit, like just a dying spirit, you know, that my kids were just, you know, those 2 were just getting bad, and God says, you know what, Don't be pitiful like that. Fight for them. Fight for them.
And you did.
Yeah. And now I see my son, and he's getting out, but he's not all the way out, and he'll want to come in sport color. I throw away his red clothes. And he says, "That's my friend's." I said, "Too bad for your friend." I throw it in the garbage.
You put it in the wrong bag, huh?
Yeah. I said, "Don't bring that in my house." So you have to ground yourself. You have to ground yourself. Who is the parent here?
Right.
Who is the parent here? And so many parents are like, they just rather not deal with their kids arguing with them, so they back up.
All right. Well, save that thought. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to come back with this outstanding and empowering group. So we'll see you in just a second.
What if you knew that the fastest way to make a better world is to better the lives of women and girls? You might be one in a million. We're asking 1 million women to join our global network and invest in women and girls. It's that easy to make a difference.
I am 1 in a million.
I am 1 in a million.
I am 1 in a million.
Be 1 in a million and fund forward. Give to a Women's and Girls Fund.
My name is Aaron. I have a wish. I want to be a cowboy.
Hi, we're back here with What's Up With That with the Master Moms Ministry, and we just heard some unbelievably empowering stories, life-changing experiences. I always like to talk about a certain experience with a certain person that changed your life. Tell me about an experience with a mom that you really remember.
I've seen recently we had a young lady come, and she has a very extensive criminal background, and she has a background of being a fighter, a gang member.
Okay.
You know, she has the experience of being a business owner, and how she went from being prosperous to a gang member, and that she's always known to be a fighter. And what I've seen since she's been coming to Master Moms is I've seen a more humble woman, a more humble woman, and not in terms of not wanting to fight the enemy or fight for her children, but just her wanting a different life so that she can be effective to the children that she's already kind of damaged with her, behavior.
Right. You have the whole self-esteem issues that you have to start from ground zero.
Yes.
And so you get somebody that comes in, I'm sure, who's just devastated.
And we have women that have been raped, that have been molested, that have been beat by their husbands. And the first meeting, they'll come and they'll hear. They'll just listen to what we say.
Oh, really?
But then the second meeting, they're coming out. And we had one young lady who was molested, who was abandoned by her family, who was really, really damaged, who didn't even believe in God. And she got saved. And she had breakthrough.
She probably didn't believe in anybody. I mean, everybody was the enemy, right?
Yeah. And we had prayer with her, and she got saved.
Well,
and so, I mean, we have seen the power of God. And that's one thing that we really want to teach women, is that same power that he possesses, he gives it to you. But so many women don't know that they have it.
No, I mean, and you have to look at a society that generally puts down women
for centuries.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's gone on forever, and they, the male figure is always held up in high esteem, and the woman's always the one to blame.
Well, the way I see it is that from the beginning, the enemy hated women. Why? Because she gave birth to God.
That's right.
So
right.
He's used men. He's used laws. He's used many things to suppress women, but God gives her.
You can't hold a good woman down.
That's right. That's right.
That just came to my mind. So, how about you? What person do you think of that really sticks out in your mind? Someone that you saw take a 360, like you said.
Well, there's a lady in the church that we used to do a lot of things out there in the world. We used to deal drugs and do a lot of crazy things. And when I was saved, she wasn't. But when she came out of prison, there was something that had took place when she was locked up, and she came out. And now she's healed from something that was wrong with her in her brain. When she came out, they didn't find it anymore.
Wow.
And that's when she started believing in God. And now she's going into the prisons and preaching the word. And God just did a tremendous work in her life to what I know her, because I ran with her in the streets, to what she is now. That woman, she's going a long ways. She goes to all the prisons, even the men's prisons.
Well, that must be very intimidating for a woman to go to a men's prison.
Oh, yes, it is.
And how about you? Someone that you remember, because you do outreach, someone that you might have met on the street that just, you knew that there was something that you could do.
For me, and it's always been that for me, is Lisa. She's always been a role model for me. Because she's come from a lot of damage through drugs and gangs and raising her kids by herself, going to prison. But God has just touched her so much and worked in her life that it's unreal. And that's what keeps me going. You know,
it's great to have a good friend.
Oh, yeah. It's just amazing to see how God just, when she's like at her wit's end, I hear her just, you know, turn on her worship music and cry out to God. And that's who you really got to run out to, you know, because without him, there's no other way. Just like me. I never thought I'd be sitting here, you know, or today.
Right.
You know, from my drug issue, I have health issues now.
Yeah.
You know, just unreal. But God has favor on me, and I keep going.
Well, he knew you had a mission.
That's right.
He knows.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And the devil's going to try to stop us because he's already tried. He hits us in every place we
Oh,
can.
of course.
Yeah.
We end up telling him, okay, is that all you got? Hit harder. Is that all you got? Oh, you ain't nothing to get back under
That's
my
just like
feet.
my email when you said you emailed me with the address. My computer froze. When I went to get your address, it froze.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know what, devil, you have no victory over this. We're going to move one way or another. I still got the phone number. And all of a sudden, my computer just opened.
It's
Yeah.
There are signs.
Oh,
there
yes.
are signs. So, being a mom, how does that empower you to really get out to these families? I mean, you know, we have, like, the Catholic Church is very patriarchal. It's a male type of society. I don't want to say society, you know, it's a religion. But being a mom, how does that empower you as a mom to really get out there and confront some of these issues? Is there something special going on there?
For myself personally, I've been a woman activist for over 16 years. And what I've being a saved woman, you know, we want our husband to take the role over us because it's biblical. But he's also supposed to be the spiritual leader. So if you don't have a man or a husband, and you don't have a husband who's taking that spiritual lead, you do what you got to do.
Right.
Because you are head of your household, spiritually wise. So as being a mom, and these are single mothers, I am married, did raise my kids for some time by myself, but I know what I have to do for my family. In Proverbs 30, there's the woman who was a businesswoman. She was a mother. She was a wife. She was somebody's master. And she's the woman that I model. And I've even taught the women on her because she is a righteous woman. She's beautiful in God's eyes. And there's nothing pitiful about her. You don't see that she is weeping. You don't see that she's backing down. You see her as a warrior. So what I tell these women is that, you know what? You have the power, but you must learn how to possess it.
That's right.
Yes.
So that's what being a mom does. When you internalize that you have power over your children, or that you have the power even to stamp out the devil when he's in your family. Once you grasp that, man, you're on a whole different level.
There's nothing.
It's like I tell the women, when the devil comes to your mind and says you're weak and you're this and you're that, captivate that thought and throw it back to him, shoot it to hell.
Exactly.
Just talk. I go, why are we so easy to tell God, oh, why, Lord? Why does this happen to me? Why? I said, why don't you tell the devil? Oh, you think you're bad? Why you doing that? I go, people sometimes could think I'm crazy because I'm always talking back to him.
But I think
oh,
people,
wow.
you know, there are people that need to be
Pushed.
Yes.
You know, you gotta sometimes, and we all know those people. We want to think, what is
Yes,
wrong with you?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, we don't have much time left. It's been wonderful. What do you want to say to the viewers? What would you like them to leave with after seeing this episode?
I just want the viewers to leave with knowing that they do possess the power.
That's right.
Over the devil. Regardless if it's drugs, sexual assault, alcoholism, gangs, whatever it is. The greatest power that a person can possess, and especially a mother, is the power of love.
Exactly.
2 Corinthians 13. It's the chapter of love. And love
Conquers all.
conquers all.
I mean, they sound like cliches, you know, but they're true.
It's true.
It is
It's true. Conquers hate, conquers alcohol, everything it can cover. So what we just want the women to know is that if you're going through it, if you're hurting, if you're, you know, look up Master Moms at Victory Outreach and just decide to wear the crown that God has given to you. Whether you're saved or not, you are embedded with the crown, a crown on your head.
Right.
And it's like when we confront issues that hurt us inside, I tell the ladies, hey, you know what? Add another diamond to your crown.
That's right.
That's right.
Add another diamond because that's who you are. You're a crowned woman.
Well, I can tell your crown is growing and growing.
Yeah.
And how about you? What would you like the viewers to think?
Just to say that, you know what, it's time we took our children back. Because, you know what, the devil has lied to us for a lot of years, and he's lying to our children.
Amen.
And if our children keep believing him, like a saying that I always said, if you keep listening to man, your children will get 25 to life. But if you listen to God, you'll get eternal life.
That's right.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And what you're doing is an unbelievably wonderful thing, and I hope that those viewers out there who are in need, who are in these situations, will certainly contact you. Thank you so much. And to our viewing audience, as always, if you're walking down the street and you see something interesting and you wonder to yourself, hey, what's up with that? Well, tune into our show, What's Up With That, and maybe you'll find exactly what you're looking for. We'll see you next week in What's Up With That. Good night, everybody.